when the saints go marching in, oh, when the saints go marching on in, Lord knows I won't be in that number. Oh, when the saints go marching on in. Yeah, when the sun will refuse to shine. Oh, when the sun refuses to shine. Lord knows I won't be in that number. Oh, when the saints go marching on in. Yeah, when the saints go marching in. Oh, when the saints go marching on in. Lord knows I won't be in that number. Oh, when the saints go marching on in. Lord knows I won't be in that number. We'll all be there, each and every one. When the saints go marching on in.
Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everyone today? As Rick intimated, this is a most auspicious Sunday at All Souls Unitarian Universalist Church. It is Fat Sunday. It is a tradition we have done for about 10 years. And every year on the Sunday before Mardi Gras, before Ash Wednesday, we have Tribe, a local band that plays authentic New Orleans Mardi Gras jazz, come and join us. And I do a narration about the involvement of African Americans in Mardi Gras. And there ain't no stinking pandemic gonna keep us from doing that. In fact, I'm coming at you live from Jackson Square. There's the St. Louis Cathedral down here. You can barely see Cafe Du Monde, where I hope to be getting coffee after the service. The river behind me. It's very chilly here, although not quite as chilly as it is where you are. So I'm going to give you a big fat welcome on Fat Sunday from Jackson Square, French Quarter, New Orleans. It's the Big Easy, baby. I have just a few announcements I want to share before we get this party started. First of all, the final part in our three-part series of Unitarian Universalist history is at noon today with Beth Green and myself officiating, leading, and we're going to be exploring the impact of transcendentalism. The new February religious exploration YouTube videos available for your pre-kinders and toddlers. This month is focused on beloved community. So join Kathy, Heidi, and Beth as we discover how to share love with ourselves and others. And the latest religious exploration signups are for March through May is now available. So volunteers, I don't know why my video left. Hold on. Hello again. Volunteers have been emailed the link, but it's also in the e-letter. If you would like to volunteer for religious exploration, please go to see that RE Sign Up Genius. And thanks to all the amazing RE volunteers that have made this virtual year so really successful. Finally, Tuesdays with Nori will be happening. That's at 5:30. The Zoom link is in the e-letter and on our Facebook page, our website. So if you would just like to hang out with me for an hour and just chat and get caught up, it's just a really kind of fun, informal way to stay connected. So let's take a few minutes to go through the gallery and just see who all is here today and say hey. Good. It looks like a bumper crop today, a bumper crop. Good to see you. If you're visiting, if you've not been here before and you feel like it, please feel free to give a shout out in the chat. And Judy McMath, our welcome volunteer for the day, will greet you privately. We're just so very delighted that you're all here. We gather here every week from wherever we are, not because we must, but because we can. We come not in spite of our differences, but to flaunt our diversity. We gather from every socioeconomic stream, race, ethnicity, gender identity, age, ability, height. And we find that we're actually stronger and more fabulous when we can bring all of who we are into this Zoom room and be seen and loved for all of who we are. So let's take a moment to breathe in the divinity of this hour brought here to you by you. In her 2014 book, New Orleans Carnival Cruise, The History, Spirit, and Secrets of Mardi Gras, Rosary O'Neill writes, New Orleans is uniquely suited to be the home of Mardi Gras. New Orleans is a small city, 370,000 people, but most are involved with the tradition of Carnival. And men you couldn't lure to a museum will wear full tuxes or costumes and dance until 4 a.m. at Carnival. Mardi Gras, or Fat Tuesday, allows for history, spirit, and secrets. The day signals the start of the Catholic Lenten season. In New Orleans, Mardi Gras is not just a day, it's a season of parades, balls, and society presentations organized by the Carnival Cruise. The New Orleans Carnival Ball and Parade is theater as old as ages. Spectacle has an expression of the power of the leadership to the populace at large and to a select circle of guests. Carnival organizations revel in their histories and even use an old-fashioned British term, crew, spelled K-R-E-W-E, to refer to their societies. According to the legend, the word came from the Old English spelling for crew, and the custom of crews taking their names from mythological creatures dates back to 1857. The French Quarter lights up for Mardi Gras on most years. People leave their houses and go out on the street or meet their friends for open houses with oysters on the half shell, yum, and champagne. No one is upset if you walk in with your entourage of 8 people because friends travel in groups. On Mardi Gras Day, the crowds come out strutting, waving, and screaming, "Throw me something." People point out daughters in the courts or friends on floats. Tensions abound between and inside various groups of Indians, gay marchers, baby dolls, and old blind paraders. Everyone wants to be gawked at and admired for one day. This year, the old customs are being put aside due to the COVID-19 crisis. There are no parades, no open bars in the French Quarter. Jackson Square, as you can see, is locked. Yet we still gather to celebrate. And as you can also see, still people are out on the streets wearing masks, socially distanced, because everybody does want to be gawked at least for one day. So as we light the chalice, may its light shine so brightly that each of us are also seen in its light and admired for this day.
Go meet them boys on the battlefield. stomp some rock. Hey.
Standing now at St. Anne and Chart Street. As you can see, we have protesters outside that beautiful St. Louis Cathedral because, of course, Roman Catholicism is of the devil, evidently. Anyways, now we're walking down St. Anne's or Chart Street. Because there are no parades, a lot of people have decorated their houses or apartments as house floats. And so we see a couple of those up here. Traditional Mardi Gras organizations form a crew. A crew often names their parade after a particular Roman or Greek mythological hero or god. The ranking structure of a Mardi Gras crew is a parody of royalty. King, queen, dukes, knights, and captains, or some variation of that theme. Many of the more established crews allow membership by invitation only. Few in the ghetto felt they could ever participate in the typical New Orleans parade. Historically, slavery and racism were at the root of this cultural separation. The Black neighborhoods in New Orleans gradually developed their own style of celebrating Mardi Gras. Their crews are named for imaginary Indian tribes, according to the streets of their ward or gang. The Mardi Gras Indians named themselves after Native Americans to pay them respect for their assistance in escaping the tyranny of slavery. It was often local Indians who accepted slaves into their society when they made a break for freedom. They have never forgotten this support. Today, when two Mardi Gras Indian tribes pass one another, you will see a living theater of art and culture. Each tribe's style is on display. In a friendly but competitive manner, they compare one another's art and craftsmanship. The big chiefs of two different tribes start with a song or chant, ceremonial dance, and threatening challenge to Humba. The big chiefs demand that the other chief bows and pay their respect. The retort is a whoop and an equally impressive song and war dance with the reply, "Me no Humba, you Humba." Each big chief will eventually stand back and with a theatrical display of self-confidence, acknowledge the artistry and craftsmanship of the other chief's suit. Before the procession can continue, the two big chiefs will often comment privately to one another, "Looking good, baby, looking good."
Here's a tune, Congo Square.
So now I'm at the corner of Royal and Dumaine. You can see a couple of more house floats here, or mansion floats, and the beautiful plants that often are just a kind of a signature item of these beautiful homes in New Orleans. They have inner courtyards where they have their lawn, their play area for their kids, whatever. In a 2013 piece in the Washington Post, Jordan Flaherty notes the intersection of race and Mardi Gras is a complicated one. On the one hand, many of the older crews, the organizations that put on the major parades, were all white until the city passed a law that forced integration of the parading crews in 1992. And there was passionate opposition to the change. That's a ghost tour right there. Also, something else New Orleans is known for. While some New Orleans institutions are stained with a history of discrimination, Mardi Gras, as we celebrate it today, has also been shaped by its resistance to racism. The legacy of New Orleans includes the largest slave uprising in U.S. history, which took place in 1811, just outside New Orleans, and the civil disobedience of Homer Plessy, who challenged separate but equal laws in 1892. Because French and Spanish colonial laws around slavery differed from the English laws governing most United States colonies, New Orleans had a community of free Africans as early as the 1730s. Much of the New Orleans distinct music, food, and even architecture descends from the culture shaped by these free Africans. This history is deeply ingrained in Mardi Gras celebrations. One of the main events on Fat Tuesday, normally, is the Zulu Parade, a historically Black crew that was started over a century ago by African Americans to mock the all-white carnival traditions. Zulu has grown from an informal celebration to a major institution featuring dozens of floats and lasting for hours. Among the most exciting and eagerly anticipated rituals of New Orleans Carnival are those performed by the Mardi Gras Indians. These so-called Indians are actually Black men and some women who pay cultural tribute to Native Americans for the support that tribal communities gave to Africans escaping slavery. The Indian gangs, as they are called, wear intricate costumes and perform mock battles among themselves, featuring song, dance, and live music. For these men who work all year on their characters and their suits, the highest compliment is to call them the prettiest. one of the many ways the holiday also subverts traditional gender roles. Customs such as these, which commemorate opposition to slavery, root the holiday in the city's history of struggle against discrimination, while also creating a space where divisions of race and gender blur and people find commonality in celebration.
This is a tune from Professor Longhair. He was a famous and influential piano player from New Orleans.
Here we are with another house float. This one gives the name of their crew of sub-crew. They have, it's a really fun one. No trip to New Orleans would be complete without a trip down Bourbon Street, which is where we are now. Typically, this would just be packed with people. Maybe not today because it's so cold, but this street here we see here is the original name for it. uh, Cal de Bourbon, when New Orleans was the capital of the Spanish province of Louisiana, 1762 to 1803. O'Neill writes, France introduced Carnival to North America. As early as 1512, the French court celebrated with a parade in which a fat ox, celebrated by a triumphal car carrying a child called King of the Butchers. I think this is where the Chucky franchise came from, I'm not sure. Led an elaborate procession. This parade on the day before Ash Wednesday, which initiates Lent, stimulated that day's designation as Mardi Gras, which means Fat Tuesday. The Carnival parade and ball are contrivances to showcase those of importance. Natives love the hierarchy of romance, kings and queens, maids and lieutenants, but they also appreciate the deeper level of meaning behind the display. Therefore, it's not surprising that most Carnival crews have Greco-Latin names: Comus, Momus, Rex, Proteus, Orpheus, Bacchus, and so on. Like the Greek fraternities, Carnival crews are secret societies with secret rules devoted to promoting their membership. Limiting the idea of Mardi Gras to elite male crews with parades casts doubt on the value of other Carnival revelers. By consigning them to the margins as charming ancillary sidebars, the quest to shape the image of real Mardi Gras has been centered on crew culture. The obvious aim is to publicly affirm their supremacy, both in status and income. But it is not only that. The discounting of others points to elite male anxieties about the masking practices of female and working class groups, rendering the Carnival activities of non-elite white men as happening in dangerous parts of the city. In other words, Black neighborhoods, or during insignificant times of the day. Other revelers are characterized as either being violent or simply amusing. The fact that members of other Mardi Gras traditions have remained hidden, invisible, and outside the Mardi Gras economy has to do with the differences in their audience reach, their economic impact, and the social status of their members. But most importantly, it allows for powerful groups to ignore, minimize, and disavow the claims these groups make about themselves. This level of racism and classism still pervades our society and certainly exists outside Mardi Gras in New Orleans. African American music star Sam Cooke experienced this yet again while on tour in the South in 1963. On October 8, 1963, en route to Shreveport, Louisiana, Cooke called ahead to the Holiday Inn North to make reservations for his wife, Barbara, and himself. But when he and his group arrived, the desk clerk glanced nervously around and explained there were no vacancies. While his brother Charles protested, Sam was fuming, yelling to see the manager and refusing to leave until he received an answer. His wife nudged him, attempting to calm him down, telling him, "They'll kill you." To which he responded, "They ain't gonna kill me because I'm Sam Cooke." When they eventually persuaded Cooke to leave, the group drove away, calling out insults and blaring their horns. When they arrived at the Castle Motel on Sprague Street downtown, the police were waiting for them, arresting them for disturbing the peace. The New York Times ran an AP report the following day headlined, "Negro Band Leader Held in Shreveport." In response to that personal incident and to the continued racism in the United States, Sam Cooke wrote "A Change is Gonna Come," which was released December 22nd, 1964. It became an anthem for the civil rights movement and today remains more relevant than ever. As we take up our offertory now, let us reflect on how we can amplify the voices of those at the margin to bring them into the center of their own power and the power to change our communities and our world. Let us join our voices in affirming a change is going to come, and we won't rest until it does. Instructions for giving via text, online, or with a check will be in the chat and on the next screen.
I was born by the river in a little town. Like that river I've been running ever since. Well, it's been a long time coming. Well, I know change is gonna come. Oh, yes it is. It's been too hard living. I'm afraid to die, 'cause I don't know what's up there. Oh, beyond the sky. Well, it's been a long time coming. Well, I know the change is gonna come. Oh, yes it is. And then I go to see my brother. And I said, brother, won't you help me, please? Oh, but he just keeps on knocking me down, knocking me down on my knees. Oh, there was a time I was feeling that I wouldn't last for long. Oh, and now I'm here to tell us all I know we're all gonna carry on, 'cause it's been a long time coming. But I know change is gonna come. Oh, yes it is. see my brother. And I said, brother, won't you help me, please? Oh, but he just keeps on knocking me down. A change is gonna come.
St. Peter Street, another example of a house float. I read that there's over 9,000 registered house floats, including some in Europe. So a lot of people have gotten into that, which just goes to show we can have Mardi Gras wherever we are. In the old nucleus, in the French Quarter, you don't need a tablet, an iPhone. Itinerant bands and singers pulsate from every street. Right now you can hear a band of bird song. I don't know if you can or not. But anyway, there are coffee shops and outdoor patios and people meeting on the corner for a friendly drink. Toy stores feature costumes for children, and holidays aren't even needed for king cake and champagne. Before the corona pandemic, this is a place where bars were open 24/7, where families lunch over shrimp po' boys and root beer on a Sunday, where people graduate from school and stay, where churches are packed with men and women for services. Locals were asked if you're from the city, where you went to school, and where you were raised so they can get quick who you are. This is a place where people know each other good. And for fear of hospital shutdown during hurricane season, don't book surgeries in August. People in New Orleans love a show. They like to gather and go out into the street, look at the sunset and the water. Each neighborhood has traditions of revelry. From the earliest times, there have been festivities and outdoor events. This is a town that loves to party, a town where people avoid a hangover by having a drink first thing in the morning and then imbibe all day. There's lots of consumption and lots of hospitality. Bars and restaurants are open 24/7 and eating out is cheap. In New Orleans, celebrations are important. Fantasy allows you to be bigger than life in a city that will appreciate you for your imagination as well as your salary. Just as Paris appreciates its poets, Louisiana applauds its minstrels, crew members, parade watchers, kings, and queens, all of whom support a day of festivities that has kept this city smiling. The season of Lent is one in which people traditionally reflect on the cycles of life. The beginning, a somber reminder on Ash Wednesday, is to be marked with the ashes of the palm branches that heralded the triumphant entry of Jesus the week before Easter. These are burned to ash and placed on supplicants' forehead with the reminder that we are ashes to ashes, dust to dust. As we continue into this season of reflection, this reminder is important, and this would be the Sunday where we would celebrate chocolate communion, to take a moment to savor the sweetness of this fleeting life. Today being Valentine's Day, also, it's good to acknowledge the loves we hold in our hearts, whether that's a partner, a parent, a pet, friends, and our own dear selves. I encourage each of us to take a moment today, with chocolate or not, to be grateful for the sweetness of this life, brief though it may be. So we're kind of standing here. Here's a couple more house floats. Really fun. Now we're in the distance. You see the more modern New Orleans, looking back to Jackson Square over here. In her book, Rosary O'Neill tells us most Indian songs are chanted and make liberal use of the call and response. Famous Indian chants appear in Mardi Gras songs like James Sugarboy Crawford's Jokama, called when Indians go into battle. The song begins as a face-to-face meeting of tribes with one threatening, "I'm going to set your flag on fire." The song's reemergence as Iko Iko, a victory chant by the Dixie Cups, garnered a big impact. In the mid-1950s, the Indian prayer, Indian Red, was first recorded as My Indian Red, with lyrics close to what is sung today. Also taped was Corrine Died on the Battlefield, with the first mention of the battleground where many Indian confrontations took place. While the Indians used to only come out during Mardi Gras and sometimes St. Joseph's Day, the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival and other organizations have started hiring tribes and baby dolls to appear, moving them outside the carnival calendar. As we extinguish our chalice, let us remember to set our hearts on fire for justice, equity, and love. And now we want to show the special credits page so we can thank everybody who participated. That's me extinguishing the chalice. Thanks, Vic, for the graphics. And thanks to Tribe. We're so glad that we were able to continue this tradition with them recording safely wherever they were, and me in freezing New Orleans, and you in sub-freezing tundra. Tribe, John Weiss, bass and vocals, Tony Szajowski, keyboards and vocals, Brad Eastin, sax, Teddy Nazario, drums. And if you want to find them, go to Facebook, look for Tribe and John H. Wise. And thanks to Robert and AB and Rick for the production, and the narration was written by me. And in just a few moments, we are going to go into our breakout rooms. We are ready to have people to help record backup for Put a Little Love in Your, is it heart? I can't remember. Anyway, if you would like to fulfill your dream of being a backup vocal singer, just put in the chat that you would like to join the band and fire room. Love you guys, and we'll have one more song, Iko Iko from Tribe.
Sitting on the bayou. I said, my flag boy to your flag boy, I'm gonna set your flag on fire. Talking about hey now, I go, nay. Shakamo, fimo, hunane. Shakamo, finale. Oh, you see that gal all dressed in green. I go, nay. I heard that gal, she's a loving machine. I'm talking about hey now, I go, shot more, feel more, shot more, finale. Oh, you see that chief all dressed in red. I go, I heard that chief gonna shoot you dead. Shot more, finale. I'm talking about hey now, John White. My grandma and your grandma sitting on the bike. I said, my grandma to your grandma, set your flag on fire. Talking about hey now, I go, hey. Oh, shaka mo finale. I'm talking about hey now, I go, hey. Oh, shaka mo finale, shaka mo finale.
Thanks everyone for being here today. Rick's going to get us in our breakout groups in just a minute. Quick reminder, thanks to Stan Kidder for this nudge in the chat. This is our month that we do our annual pledge drive. And if you are a member or friend, it's super easy to do. Stan put the information in the chat. Just go to our website. You can fill out a pledge form electronically there. I want to thank you all again for your sustained generosity, both financially and with your time and with your presence during this insane year that we've just had. And I'm so grateful in advance that you'll continue to be the church, the liberal voice of religion in the Front Range region. So thank you so much for that. And just hang on for the breakout rooms. Love you guys.